She's the third harbinger, one of the most powerful members of the Fatui. And yet, the very people who work with her warn everyone else to stay away. Today on The Explainer, we are digging into the incredible mystery of Columbina.
I mean, just listen to this from the Wanderer. When your own colleagues, people like him and even Tartaglia, are telling you to be careful, you know something is seriously up. They paint this picture of her as this unfeeling, dangerous person, which honestly just makes her even more of an enigma.
And that's the big question we're tackling today, isn't it? Is she really the threat everyone makes her out to be? Or is there something more, a hidden side to the powerful and cryptic damselette?
All right, let's get right into it. We'll start with what the world thinks it knows about her, which, to be blunt, isn't a whole lot.
Okay, so she's number 3, third. Let that sink in for a second. That rank is wild. It puts her right at the tippy top of the Fatui food chain. But here's the kicker. Despite having all that power, she almost never got sent out on missions. How weird is that?
And the reason why is pretty revealing. See, de Zaritza wasn't interested in her as an agent or a strategist. Nope. It was all about her raw power as a moon goddess. Columbina was basically a trump card, a secret weapon kept on ice, which, just adds another layer to this whole mystery.
To really understand what's going on with her, we've got to rewind the clock, way back, like 500 years back, to see where it all started.
So her story kicks off on this place called Hisi Island. She gets adopted by this group, the Frost Moon Scions, and they basically start worshipping her as their goddess, Kutar. But being a deity isn't all it's cracked up to be. She eventually just up and leaves them, feeling totally used because they just kept demanding more and more from her.
And this is so important for her whole story. This first part of her life, it sets up this really painful pattern. Here's this goddess just looking for a home, for people who get her, but all she ever finds are people who only care about her power, not about her.
Okay, so with that backstory in mind, let's fast forward a bit and see how this all leads her to her next big chapter, joining the Fatui.
And you might be thinking, why would she do that? A disillusioned goddess joining a group like the Fatui, it sounds like jumping from the frying pan into the fire, right? But when you think about her past, it's actually pretty heartbreaking. She was just trying, again, to find a place where she could finally fit in.
And get this, inside the Fatui, opinions on her were all over the map. I mean, look at this. On one side, you have guys like Tartaglia and the Wanderer, who are basically like, she's dangerous, watch out. But then on the other side, you've got Sindrone having tea parties with her, and Arlecchino thinking she's totally fascinating. It's a complete split.
And it all circles back to her upbringing, right? She grew up basically as an isolated goddess, so she just never learned how to talk to people. She had zero filter. She'd just say these super blunt, snarky things, like she once told Sandrone she should probably just drink oil instead of coffee. And stuff like that just made everyone think she was even more of an enigma.
So maybe it's no surprise that her time with the Fatui ended up a lot like her time with the Scions, with people trying to exploit her power. But this time, something was different. This time, she flipped the script. Okay, so the breaking point comes when she's captured by Dator. Of course, he wants her power for himself, but she's not having it. To get away, she dives into a moon gate, and this desperate escape leads her right to the lunar palace, where she meets the 3 original moon sisters, and they do something incredible. They give her all of their authority. And this is the moment everything changes. She's not just a frost moon goddess anymore. She becomes the Trilune goddess, a being with the power of all 3 moons, with the kind of authority that could govern all of Tevat. For the first time, she was the one in control. Okay, so after that incredible journey, after being defined by everyone else for centuries, we can finally get to the heart of it all. Who is the real Columbina? Think about it. Her entire life, she was just a collection of names other people gave her. Kudar, the Damselette, Moon Maiden, Third Harbinger. But none of those were actually her. She never connected with any of them.
So this supposedly dangerous Third Harbinger was actually someone who had this deep, incredible connection to nature. She could literally talk to spirits. The flowers around her would change color based on her mood. Yeah, she was awkward, for sure. But underneath it all, what she really wanted was just a friend.
And you know what? With the Traveler, she finally found it. She found that real connection she'd been searching for her entire life. And through that friendship, she finally found a name that felt right. Columbina. Not a title, not a code name, but just the name her friends called her.
And her decision to finally adopt Columbina Hyposelenia as her true name, that was massive. It was her declaring to the world and to herself that she was finally her own person, not a tool for the Fatui, not an idol for the Scions, just her.
So, where does she go from here? The story of Kudather the goddess might be over. The story of the damselet, the harbinger, is done, but with the power of 3 moons at her command and a name she finally chose for herself, the real story of Columbina Hyposelenia, well, it feels like it's only just beginning.